Welcome to the NUPOC video study guide number 4. We're going to look at question 3 of the general math section in guide 1. So this is a bit of a word problem. Essentially what it's telling us is that there's a turboprop and a jet. Each travel 3,000 miles. The velocity of the prop is a third the velocity of the jet, and it takes 10 hours longer to complete the trip. So what was the velocity of the jet? So this actually isn't too complicated. It sounds a bit lengthy at first, but let's just write down what we know. So the time required to complete the trip for the prop, so it's called TP, we know that that was 10 hours longer than the time needed to complete it for the jet. So it's the T of the jet plus 10. We also know that its velocity was 1/3. So we'll say VP equals Vj over 3. Okay. Now we also know that both of them traveled 3,000 miles. So we'll say xp, let's get rid of that. Let's say xp equals xj equals 3,000. I'm not using units yet, but we're going to bring them back in towards the end of the problem, just to make sure that we have them correct and we check them. So, alright, so we know here that, let's look at the jet first. So we know that the jet, x of the jet, the distance traveled equals velocity of the jet times time of the jet, right? So this would be miles per hour times hours equals miles, okay. But we also know that xj is equal to xp, so we can just equate this to Vp, velocity of the prop, times Tp, since they both went the same distance. But now we know that Vp times Tp, we know these in terms of the jet time and velocity. So this is actually Vj over 3 times Tj plus 10. So now we have an equality, or we can have an equality right here just in terms of Vj. So this is one side of the equality here, Vj times Tj, and that's actually equal to Vj over 3 times Tj plus 10. Now we don't know what Tj is yet, but actually we can sort of separate this into two equations, and then we'll have two unknowns. So we can kind of look at this as just the first equation, okay? And then we can sort of sub in Vj over 3 times Tj plus 10 equaling xj or xp, whichever one, they're both 3,000, once we figured out what Tj is. So let's just use this equation first right here. Xj equals Vj times Tj. So we'll just pull the Vj over to the other side, and we'll have Tj equals Xj over Vj. Okay? So now we know what Xj is. It's the same as Xp. So now we can go ahead and sort of plug this into this part of the equation, and then just equate this to Xp. So let's kind of bring this all the way over here and start working over here. So we're going to plug this in, and we're going to equate it to Xp. So I'm going to write Xp first. Okay, and that's going to be equal to, let's say, Vj over 3 times Tj is Xj over Vj, so Xj over Vj plus 10. Okay, so that's going to be equal to, I'm going to multiply through, so that'll be Xj Vj over 3 Vj, those are going to cancel, plus 10 Vj over 3. Okay, so this right here we know is, let's start using some numbers here. So I know this xp is 3,000 miles. And we know over here 3,000 miles is also xj, and it's divided by 3. 3 is unitless here, so this just becomes 1,000 miles. You can see our units are miles here, so we'll do a quick unit check to make sure we're on the right track. Plus, and now this is 10 over 3. This is actually 10 hours. And this is multiplied by VJ, which we don't know what that is yet, but we know it's in miles per hour. So it looks like this is miles, and it's being divided by 3, which is just some number in this case. So let's go through and let's kind of bring this 1,000 to the other side and then multiply by 3 and divide by 10 hours. So what we'll find is that VJ is actually equal to 3 over 10 hours, right? And that's going to be multiplied by 3,000 miles minus 1,000 miles. So essentially we have VJ equals 3 times 2,000 miles over 10 hours. So that's going to equal 6,000 miles over 10 hours. And so that's pretty easy. We're just going to divide 6,000 by 10. That gives us 600. So 600 miles per 1 hour. So 600 miles per hour. So we'll just write it off to the side here. VJ equals 600 miles per hour. So from here you could actually go back through and you could find out what VP is. So VP is going to be 200 miles per hour, and you could find out the time that each plane took. And I've gone through and done that, and you do find that this solution here for VJ is valid in that it gives you VP equals 200 miles an hour. If you put those two velocities back into the original problem statement up here, you do find that the prop takes 10 hours longer to complete the trip, so it's a valid solution.